welcome to a Sunday night edition of Talking Iowa Hawkeye Sports. And we are live. You can see the link up there. You guys can press that link, or you can press it in the comment section and join the show. You do not have to show your face if you do not want to. It'd be cool if you did. And also, guys, I'm kind of curious. What did we do to make somebody mad? 2 people mad. We gained 2. We actually gained 3 subscribers last week, and we lost 2 of them already. Guys, what are we doing here? Okay, man. Anyway, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Share this with your friends, and by all means, comment away. And now, do you guys need a quick pick-me-up? Because I know a little... Alrighty, yeah. If you guys do order the coffee, go to that cocainecoffee.com and put in Villains15 for 15% off your order. Now, we got a fun show. First, we're going to talk about women's basketball recruiting because Iowa was on an offer spree this week, and we're going to talk about some of the ones that got offered, and we're going to talk about some of the ones who have Iowa on their list. And so I'm not sure where to begin, but let's just talk about first. Let me get it up. Okay. This one, who has Iowa in her final 5, Nation Williams. Mm-hmm. Of course, she's showing off her USA jersey there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So... anyway, gosh darn it, I can't see everything, but it looks like we're up against North Carolina, Duke, Notre Dame, UCLA for their services. Now, you did say was it her mom or her dad played at UCLA?
Both, I think.
Both? Okay, so she's a UCLA legacy, so yeah. My gut would tell me that she's leaning that way, but her mom likes Iowa and Jan, so maybe she'll have Nation come to Iowa. So to me, in my mind, it's down to UCLA and Iowa.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
I don't have I said all along that I thought, McKenna Wolitzko, nobody else would say it, but I thought Iowa was number 1. On this gal, I think UCLA's number 1, and everybody else is just kind of tagging along. But I don't have any information like that. I just figure she's a UCLA girl, her mom was, and that's probably where she's going. But I don't know. Yeah. That would just be a guess. So,
alrighty.
All them programs are big time. So,
yeah, they are. Every program there is big time.
Yeah,
I would say the Iowa is probably the least of those right now.
I don't know. I don't know. Iowa's very prominent, and North Carolina is a great program. Duke, they're a great program, and I would think a degree from Duke is probably from that list is the most recommended degree as far as an academic institution. But I'll just say I think UCLA is the leader, and I would like to know whether she's going to commit in the fall, the letter of intent, is in November, the early one, or whether most of these McDonald All-Americans, she's top 10 in the country and one of the most skilled power forwards in the nation for shooting threes and doing everything. A lot of them don't commit till like March or something. So,
yeah, that's just crazy that they wait that long, because honestly, it's not really fair to the programs, because they got to know, if they should be going with their backup plans.
yep, seeing how many people they're going to sign in the portal. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. The backup plan is portal. Okay. All right. This one is Paisley Hogan. Now, this would probably be a freshman, basically, right?
If I remember correctly, and she is very, very, very. Is she from Arkansas?
Well, let me pull it up on my phone, because, like I said, this is as small to me on my screen as it is to you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if she was from Arkansas or where she is, but I know one thing: she's very, 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 very impressive. I watched.
Yes, she's from Fort Smith, Arkansas. I went to college with a guy from Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Okay, maybe it's her grandpa. Maybe you should get in touch with her.
No, his last name wasn't Hogan.
But his well, I don't mean anything. His daughter might be her mother. But Arkansas has two unbelievable young players, her, and then they have Easton McCullough, who has already visited Iowa, who's probably a year older than her. They're like unbelievable players. But
okay, here's another one. Caribou Morris. And there's actually two girls on this list with the last name Morris. I do not know if they're sisters, cousins, or not related. Okay.
No, one's from Arizona. This one here is Caribou Morris. I'm trying to think what state she was from, but she was offered, and I think she's 6'2" and like a guard or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where I grabbed the picture from, but I don't have it on the page. I
was just kind of brushed up on the 2027 offers, because they're the ones that we're going to be concentrating on this year.
Yeah.
And Nation Williams was one of them.
I didn't get all these people on here.
Okay. One of the other ones was who announced her final 6 or 5 last week was not Nation Williams, but Sienna Williams from Colorado.
Yeah, I don't have her on here. Why didn't I put her on here?
She's a 6'4" power forward, and she's them last 2 pictures I had just had the girls' names listed of the 2027, and she's from Colorado, and her final teams, if I remember right, Utah, Colorado, Iowa. Was it Michigan and Minnesota, maybe, and Nebraska? And I think we stand pretty good with her, Sienna Williams. She's like a top 15 player. I mean, she's she's a tall forward at 6'4".
She's from Bishop something in Louisville, Colorado. I was going to say Kentucky.
Yeah, it's Colorado.
Yeah, and on this list, we also got Maya Wilson from Maplewood, Minnesota. Do you think Minnesota would have the upper hand on this one?
Well, one of her best friends on her AAU team is that Brindley Attenberger, or whatever her name is, from South Dakota, who committed to Nebraska. And then this girl has a little sister who's a year or two behind her. That's a guard. Both of them visited Iowa together, but from what I hear, she's the one that's going to commit the soonest, probably by maybe sometime in September or something. And but I would feel pretty good about her.
You would think that the 2027 girls would like to get this out of the way before October, when their own seasons start. So they can just focus on their season. It used to be when they would commit during the summer before their senior year, it's go, I want to focus on my senior year and not worry about recruiting.
But I feel pretty good about her. Of course, Minnesota's an up and coming program.
Yes, they are.
So the Minnesota girls could start going to Minnesota,
Yeah. Hank wants us to talk about men's recruiting. I do have one I'm going to ask you about, but let's finish the women first.
Yeah.
Okay. We got Brooksy Colvin.
Yeah.
What do you know about her? She's from Idaho.
Yeah, she's very, very good, but she has a lot of offers like UCLA and stuff like that. I think if we get Wilson, we'll have our two guards. We'll have Soybert and Wilson, and then we'll probably, because that girl there hasn't narrowed, as far as I know, she hasn't narrowed her list down, a lot. So, but she's a very good guard.
Okay, then out of Kansas City, we got Destiny Manuel.
Yeah.
What are our chances with her? Has she made a list, and is she seriously considered Iowa because her brother's here?
I haven't heard of her list. I know she's visited Iowa before. When Ben McCollum first came to Iowa that summer, she came up and saw the University of Iowa. I think her brother moved in here, and she spent a little time up here with her brother. So I consider that a visit.
Now, because of the new 5-5 rule, Cam could actually come back another year, right?
Yeah, and he probably will.
And I was going to say he probably will, and that would be kind of cool for Destiny and Cam to be playing at the same time. That's two different teams.
We're gonna hear more publicly from her because I think she set up an interview with On3. Kyle Huseman will talk to her about what her plans are. She's playing for the All Iowa Attack. I watched her play a little bit. She's a 6'3". Kyle calls her a power forward, but she really doesn't shoot from outside. She's a lot like, as far as her shooting range, like Hannah was. So I don't know if would be more of a post. And then how tall is she really?
Yeah. I don't really consider power forwards deep shooters. I consider them more dribble to the basket and lay it in.
Depends.
Or step inside the circle and shoot a short jumper, that kind of stuff.
Depends.
Go in and rebound.
Yeah, depends if you're gonna play the 4 out, which is a normal Iowa offense, or you play the Iowa offense we did last year with two big people, Hannah and Ava. So
yeah.
Anyway,
well, speaking of which,
she's ranked the 23rd best player in the country. I didn't want to make it sound like, her range ain't far enough. I just think that if you get her, she'd be a post player. Hopefully she's 6'3.5" and she can jump. Hannah was only 6'2" and could jump.
The truth comes out finally.
If you're 6'3.5" and you can jump, you're just as, in the women's game, you're really 6'5", because a lot of them are not great jumpers. A lot of difference.
Alrighty, I think we covered all the ones on your list here.
Yeah, 2027 is what I wanted to cover.
Yeah. Here's this other Taylor Morris.
Yeah, she's from Arizona, and She's super. She's super.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Now the one I want to ask you about for the men's that covers the women. Hang on. Oh, my phone. Stop being so picky, phone. Oh yeah. The other person on your list was Kalia Hartwell from Anderson, South Carolina.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her. She's a great big post who's a lot like a Layla Hayes. She's from South Carolina, and she was, I think, Player of the Year in South Carolina. But South Carolina has not offered her. I don't think they want her in their program. She's very good with either hand around the bucket, and she's a big-bodied 6'4" post. And I think Iowa has if Iowa wants her, a very good chance at her.
Okay. So. And there's one other person who they offered a 5-star guard for the 28 class, Ariel Cook from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And she's got oral first from USC, UCLA, Michigan, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and UNC. So, I mean, they're coming after her.
Well, she's like the number 2 player in the country. So, most of them number 2 players in the country from California usually stay in California, but who knows? She's a great player. It's just, I think our chances with her are kind of slim. Maybe she'll go play with Nation Williams at UCLA or something. I don't know, but
yeah. Hank wants to know if Jason and Paul are coming back, or did they retire? Paul says he's coming back. Matter of fact, he keeps getting a link to this show every week, so I don't know if he's just going to wait till football starts. Jason says he plans on coming on a show when we do our updated picks for the beginning of the season. So I would look for Jason in the next couple of weeks to make an appearance. Whether he makes that permanent or not is up to him. We're not kicking him off the show. He's very welcome to be a part of this show and continue to be a part of the show.
And anybody can jump on any week.
Yeah. We got that link there where anybody can jump on and join the show.
Yeah, as long as you want to talk about Hawkeye sports. Yeah. Not a team that starts with a V, So
he's got his own show with the baseball.
That's right. That's right.
Baseball. He's got head baseball coach on the show tonight.
Yeah.
From Iowa. Rick Heller is on his show tonight.
I've seen that. They posted it on the Ipswich football.
They posted it all over. They posted it about 6 times on my page.
Yeah, if I posted something like that on the Iowa football website, I'd get in trouble.
Yeah. The only reason why I'm not watching it live is because it's not really live. They recorded it this morning and it's playback now, so I can go back and watch it later.
We'll go watch it later. But what was?
Here's what I want. This guy was supposed to make an announcement yesterday. Iowa was supposedly on his list, and I think he chose Baylor. But tell me, am I correct? Tyrone Jamison Jr.
He had Iowa in his final group, and that was, but Iowa
didn't have the money apparently.
No, Iowa wants Caden Daughtry. We don't want him. He went to Baylor.
So we weren't seriously.
There's another guy that
we threw an offer out to him, but we seriously didn't want him.
He visited in, I think it was June 24th during the football. Was that it?
Yeah. This Daughtry, though, it almost seems like after looking at this interview that they had with him, that he's definitely leaning Iowa. Boy, it's going to be a kick in the rear if he chooses somebody else. Because Michigan is still on his list.
Another top, Ben offered what he thought was the top 6 point guards in the country. But he won. One was Jalen Davis from Washington, who I think we'd still take him. He's like a 6'3" guard, but. One was Jackson Davis, who's from Chicago, and he put out his final 5 or something, and Michigan State, Iowa, Marquette. Who else was on there? I don't remember, but Ohio State, but I think he'll probably go to Michigan State or Ohio State, because again, I think he knows that Ben wants Caden Daughtry. I think everybody in the country thinks that Caden Daughtry's probably 40% chance he's coming to Iowa. But all we have to do is you just have faith in Ben. He knows what he's doing, and he does know what he's doing, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Iowa Hawkman says, I am drinking decaffeinated Folgers. Okay.
Well, try some cocaine coffee.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe they've got some decaf coffee for you could try out. Okay, Think says again, he goes, it's the ones that were offered, I guess, are Caden, Jackson Davis, and then Tyrone Jamison, who's off the board because he's already chose.
We offered more than that.
I need to keep up on these comments because Ink says Minnesota, and I'm not sure what that's referring to. Did I miss something? Yeah, he goes, Hink says we can't swing and miss on either guy. All righty.
Well, we're going to miss on one of them because we're only taking one. So
he goes, that's for Jackson Davis. All righty, the Minnesota comment. Okay. All righty. So let's do this. Enough of the recruit talk. You want to explain this draft that we're going to do and how we're going to work it? Everybody?
There's a draft in the room tonight. What we're going to do, we thought we could squeeze this in. Me and Dean's going to pick our teams, our offenses tonight from the Iowa roster. I'm going to give Dean first choice, and we're going to end up, it's like if his first choice is a quarterback, he can't pick another quarterback. It's like, this is like an NFL draft of Iowa Hawkeyes, but we're only going to draft guys for each position. And we're going to have one quarterback, one running back, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, because we played 2 tight ends more the majority of the time. And then our offensive linemen, no kickers or punters. And that's what we're going to do. And me and Dean cannot pick the same players. If he takes, let's say he wants Michael Malinsky, I can't pick him on my team. So Dean gets first pick.
Okay, with my first pick, I choose tight end DJ Fanami.
Okay. He's obviously he's probably like the surest shot on offense, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, if you're playing fantasy football, this ain't fantasy football.
No.
We aren't going
to. This kind of could be in a way. If they
did fantasy football, if
they did fantasy football for college.
Yeah, if I have all the best offensive linemen on my team, I don't get no points for offensive linemen in fantasy football.
That is true.
Yeah. So no, it's not a fancy thing.
Yeah.
So you got the first pick, I get the second and third pick, you get the fourth pick, and then we'll just go back and forth. Okay.
Okay.
It's called a snake draft for the top 4. So I get second and third. You took Vanami, right?
Yeah.
I'm writing that down so I know you can't. Well, you can pick another tight end. Yeah, you can. Okay. I get 2 picks. I'm going to take the most important position on the team on offense. I'm going to take Mr. Lauk at left tackle so my quarterback don't get killed. What are you laughing about? And then I guess I'm going to take the best player left on the offense that Dean. Maybe I shouldn't because his backups are good. God darn you, Dean.
What?
I'm gonna take because I'm gonna take Vanderzee with the third pick in the draft. Now you got the fourth pick in the draft.
Okay.
Dean.
Somehow I feel like I lost out on this when you took 2 and I'm going every other one.
No, now it's you
Okay.
got the first pick in the draft. You got the guy that's the number one offensive player. And then I got 2, and then you're going to pick 1, and then I'm going to pick 1, and we'll just go back and forth.
Okay. Alrighty.
Okay.
I'm going to pick running back Kamari Moulton.
Cool. Yeah, you're going to have the fantasy lead here. Because I'm going to take the first team All-American center, Peeper. I'm going to have an offensive line. So.
Yeah, you're building it. You're just thinking like Kirk does.
Well, I'm thinking like, most general managers probably would be, because there's no quarterback that's like, a quarterback can go first in a draft, but we don't have a quarterback that's a franchise quarterback. So go ahead, Dean.
So Peepers are your center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just hanging out this. Would you pick Lauk? What was his position?
Left tackle.
Left tackle. Okay, I gotta get this down. I want to make sure I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I picked Kamari Moulton. I picked DJ Vanami. You picked Peeper and Vanderzee and Lauk so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. With my third pick. I think I'm going to pick a wide receiver, and I'm going to buy into the hype and the Kool-Aid, Tony Diaz.
Yeah, I almost took him over Vanderzee, and then I thought, Kelvin, you haven't even seen him play yet.
I know it. I'm just going to buy into the hype.
I guarantee you, if you wouldn't have picked him, I'd have picked him, because I want 2 good wide receivers, and I'd had maybe the 2 best. I don't know.
Okay, hang on for a second. Don't pick anybody right now. I want to catch up on these comments. Hank wants to know, what are the topics for tonight if I come on? Right now, we're drafting our offense. I mean, you're welcome to come on and add to the draft if you want to. And so, Toll House said he would like to see a draft of all-time Hawkeyes. We ought to do that. I mean, we got plenty of shows left before the kickoff of the season.
You and Paul and Jason did an all-time Kirk draft one time.
This will be all-time Hawkeye, so we're going to do that. We're going to do that. And
I'm going to take
Toll House. You're invited to come on and join.
Yeah, I'm going to take Caitlin Clark as my quarterback.
There you go. You are not.
I bet you could do it.
She's not eligible. She's on eligibility.
Okay. So it's my turn. Yes. Again, I'm going to take Leighton Jones, the left guard. I've got the 3 best offensive linemen drafted already. So.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking I was going after my skill positions, but now I'm going to have mostly backup line.
Well, the good news is we got a deep line, so.
Yeah.
And there's no winners or losers. How can you say?
All righty. So at left guard, I'm going to take Cale Winner.
You're going with the Bale champ.
Yep.
Okay. I haven't taken a tight end yet, but I don't know which tight end. I guess I'll give you a chance to lock up your top 2 tight ends. I ain't going to pick one right now. I'm going to pick. Gosh. I'm going to pick our starting right tackle, Doetzler. Because I don't think we're as deep at tackle as we are at the other offensive line positions. So I'm just going to win the offensive line battle and be happy, Dean. So
okay, all righty. Dang. I've never heard of Trent Wilson, but he's listed as the number 1 right guard.
But he can play a tackle position, right or left guard, Dean.
Okay.
Where do you want him put at? Or are you taking him?
I'm going to take his backup, Lucas Algier. I think he's better.
Okay. And he can play either of the tackles or either of the guards, but I've always had him penciled in as our right guard, but where do you want him?
I'm going to put him at right guard.
Oh, Dean.
What? Did I do something wrong?
I just think if one of our tackles got hurt, that Kirk would pop him out, and I already got the 2 offensive tackles picked.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. Here's the deal with that. Yes, Kirk will move him around. He always has. He's not scared to do that, but, this is where we're at for our draft right now. So,
And then I pick next.
Yep.
So I got a center. I ain't got either tight end spot picked yet. I need a wide receiver, a running back. I ain't worried about running back. There's 4 great running backs. I'll take any of the 2. Any 2 that's left. I'm going to take Thomas Meyer at tight end.
Yeah, he was going to be my next tight end choice.
Well, I didn't know who to pick because Estrenga's a super tight end, And so anyway, your turn, Dean.
Alrighty. Again, I'm going to buy into the hype. At another wide receiver spot, I'm going to go with Evan James.
You got 2 wide receivers. So you can't pick another wide receiver, so I don't have to worry about you taking a wide receiver off the board. Well, I'm just looking at it as you should look. And I'm not worried about tight end, right? The team's so deep. Me and you are going to leave quarterback for last because we don't care which one we get. Too bad, probably.
Well, I have one in mind that I want to use, and I have a reason which I'll explain if I get to pick him.
Yeah, I wish I had Allgaier, but I'm gonna pick the guy everybody's rooting for. I'm gonna pick Miss Linsky as my right guard. If he was left guard, I wouldn't want him. But
okay, thank you. Well, I was going to pick him as my center. Who am I going to get as a center?
Cale Winter's actually the backup center, but
you see, well, I thought Malinsky was.
Most of these guys, right now they think Malinsky's going to battle Allgaier at right guard. They aren't going to move Keeper from center. That's where all his millions are going to be made in the NFL. But I don't know. The only center that's left is Janowski. That I can think of.
Okay.
So I'm not going to
go to the roster on that one because.
But you pick somebody. You pick some of your other positions because I'm not going to pick Janowski because my offensive line is full. I got one of the best offensive lines in the country. Supposedly. So.
Okay, I have picked is it my turn? I can't remember.
Yeah. You need to pick you need to pick a tackle, a center, a tight end, and a quarterback. That's all you got left.
Okay. For my second tight end, I'm gonna pick a stringer. I was gonna pick Meyer, but you took him. Okay. So I'll pick a stringer.
So you can't pick another tight end. So all I got left to pick is a tight end, quarterback, running back, and a wide receiver. You can't pick any more wide receivers or running backs. I guess I could pick my choice of a quarterback, but I don't care which one I get. So I'm just going to pick and keep it moving. I'm going to take Mason Woods as my second tight end.
Okay.
Go Hawks.
Wow, I hope I'm honestly, that would be great if that would mean that he's really stepping up.
Yeah. Your turn, Dean.
Okay. Hank wants to know if we think that Trent Wilson will start at guard. Matter of
The
fact,
coaches,
I'm
the
gonna.
coaches sure like him.
Can he start at tackle?
Yeah,
I'm gonna put him at tackle.
yeah. And he could be. We'll put him at left tackle for you, okay, Dean? Is that all right?
I put him at right tackle.
Okay. Trent Wilson. Freshman All-American last year, James Madison at left guard.
Okay.
I only said put him at left tackle because he played on the left side quite a bit last year.
The way this is going, I think we got time to do the defense too.
Okay.
Alrighty. Okay. For my left tackle. Oh golly. I don't have any choice in the matter. I'm gonna pick Will Nolan.
Okay. Your only other choice really would have been the 6'9" Mr. Leonard.
Oh, that would be a good choice. I think I'm gonna go with Leonard.
Okay. I'm just trying to help you, Dean.
No. Actually, I forgot about him. I forgot about him. Okay. All right, Kenneth Leonard.
Next one for me. I guess it doesn't matter who I pick because they're not gonna. You've picked everybody. We haven't picked a quarterback. I want to take Xavier Williams as my running back, but I'm going to take L.J. Phillips because he almost gained 2,000 yards last year. So I'm going to take L.J.
Yeah, he would have been my second choice if I had to. Okay, Boy says solely 2 ascended overall best natural throwing ability. Heck, midget and Brown skittish. Okay, so what he's trying to say there is our second Sully on the team.
He likes Jimmy.
He thinks he'll be the starter.
Yeah. We'll see. He sure improved a lot this spring, according to Lester. He said
if he makes that much improvement in fall.
He said Fitzgerald is really good, but he was hurt most of the spring, which I didn't know. So.
Hink says, Dean, take Kamari. I already did. I took him as my second pick.
Yep.
Okay. Final.
You have to pick quarterback
and a center. Yeah. Oh golly. If I pick Brown, that's the proto style type of quarterback that Kirk likes on the field. If I pick Kalinske, he is short, but that didn't keep the Vanderbilt quarterback, who was short, from having a great season. Golly, which one do I want? Is this sad that neither one of us is really excited about picking a quarterback?
Well, I just don't know. I always go by what I hear. Like, me, I go by what I hear, like what the coaches say, what somebody's watching practice and has told me. And everybody I have talked to, they go, I don't know which one. But none of them say, oh, they're both crappy.
You know what I'm going to do?
Maybe we got 2 good quarterbacks.
Guess what? Guess what I'm going to do?
Go with Jimmy Sullivan.
I did. Yeah. Hink says about he goes, I don't think the true freshman Bessinger passes him on the depth chart. Yeah, he's not going to pass anybody. I think according to Lester, he will be the scout team quarterback this year.
Yeah. He said the only time Bessinger won't be the scout team quarterback is like if they need a running, because Bessinger is a pro type quarterback. He is not, he's Joe Montana type. Joe Montana could run, but he was fragile. He said, if they need a quarterback that's scout team is to mimic the opponent. If we come up against a team that has a quarterback like Gronowski, Fitzgerald is the guy that's most like Gronowski, built strong, can run between the tackles. Okay. I'm going to go I got to pick a wide receiver. I know I should take Dayton Howard. Dayton Howard is my him and Vander Z together, kind of the same type wide receiver. I want to take young Schaefer, who wasn't even here this spring because they say he's like Cooper Jasheen. I'm going to take Schaefer.
Okay. Okay.
So all you got
Hank
center.
I think Bessinger will pass Sullivan on the depth chart. Boy, if he does, he's gonna have to really prove himself this year, because when you listen to Lester's interview, it sounds like he's scout team pretty much.
Yeah. If he passes Sullivan this year on the depth chart, which I wouldn't think he would until like the bowl prep or CFP playoff prep, put it that way. Right, Dean? We got to think positive. We might be in the playoff.
Yep.
If he passes Sullivan at that point, Jimmy Sullivan's going to be a quarterback at Wisconsin next year, so he's closer to Addy. So.
Well, he's only like a 2-hour drive right now.
I know that, but that was kind of a joke. But if he gets passed by a true freshman, he's gone. It's like I listened to an interview of C.J. Beathard on Washed Up Walk-Ons, and he said, if I'd have been at Iowa in these times, after my freshman year, I'd have probably transferred. That's
interesting. That's interesting, candid comment.
Well, he says, because I was immature. The best thing that ever happened to me is I played at Iowa. But I was very non-coachable as a young player at Iowa. I thought I was all that. And now, if you think you're all that in a quarterback, how many quarterbacks stay at a college for 3 years anymore? Very few.
Very few, unless you're a 4-year or 3-year starter.
Yeah. And even if you're a 2 or 3 year starter someplace, like the quarterback at Washington was this year, he wanted the money. He wanted to go to LSU or wherever he was going to transfer. I don't remember where it was,
Yeah, but he'd have had to pay back the money he got from Washington if he did. So that's why he's still at Washington.
He was forced to stay at Washington. I'm gonna take Hecklinski as my quarterback, and you got to pick a center, and we'd be done with the offense.
Okay. Let me. I'm going through the roster to see who we got, because basically, even the magazine only lists one center.
I can tell you that Janowski was the third string center in the spring because Miss Linsky did not play.
All right, we'll just take Janowski.
It's like it doesn't matter, Dean. And Janowski's one heck of a player.
Okay.
He was out. He's when they test this 5-year rule, he redshirted his first year. Then last year, you talk about somebody that ought to get a 6th year. He fought cancer all year last year, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think if a kid fights cancer all year, they ought to get another year?
Yes.
So
okay. Alrighty. Let's catch up on the comments.
Yep.
Hink says, I have no faith in Sullivan. He was recruited by Brian Ferentz. Was he really?
No. Nope. He was he committed in that time period when we didn't have an offensive coordinator, and then a year early, and then Lester was hired, and he went in a rainstorm to Indiana in a rainstorm and watched Jimmy throw, and he approved Jimmy. Jimmy was the guy that committed to Iowa when we didn't have an offensive coordinator. Like, he probably committed in January or something of his junior year.
Yeah. Okay. Boy says Messenger is still wet behind the ears.
Yeah.
All righty. Next comment is Sullivan is leaving regardless after this year. That might be. That might be because, no matter who the starting quarterback is this year, they have another year or two of eligibility left.
I could foresee from what I hear how good Jimmy Sullivan improved this year. He is the best dual threat quarterback. He's got a super arm, throws the ball good, and he's the best runner on the team at quarterback. And he's a little bigger than Hecklinski in height. And the only thing they had to break him of was throwing late over the middle is what they wanted to break him of. And from what I've heard, it is possible that Dean, by the end of the season, this guy you picked at quarterback could be our best quarterback. And I haven't seen him play, but that's what I hear. Sullivan has improved that much.
He said in the spring he did it, and he improves that much in the fall. Those other two better be watching out, you know, because right now everybody thinks the battle's between those two. But who's say that, Sullivan can't push him a little bit?
I fully expect that some quarterback obviously is going to transfer this fall, whether it's one of our top two or our third one.
I guarantee no matter whichever one isn't the starter this year leaves. But didn't they also make a rule that you can only transfer once now?
What if they share the job like
that ain't happening. They might share it the first couple games to see who's going to be the real starting quarterback. But Kirk's already been through sharing it, and he didn't like the results.
What if nobody wins the job during the season and two guys play, and maybe even Sullivan, a third one, plays?
What was the rule? What was the saying that says if you've got two quarterbacks, you've got none?
Well, that's what every coach has always said. But
okay. Hink says that Pieper, Malinsky, and Winter are all the centers. So I went with a center that
Janowski is a center. If you don't know, and also most of the interior linemen take snaps at center, and Leighton Jones for 3 years has taken snaps at center too. But I had him picked already, so Dean couldn't take Leighton Jones. And Hudson Parliament started out as a center at Iowa, the true freshman, but he ain't going to play. No true freshman is going to play offensive line at Iowa this year. So
too valuable position. Okay, so let's pick our punter and kicker since we're going to pick defense too.
We are? Okay.
Yep, we're going to go for it.
I'm going to flick my paper over so I can keep track.
Okay.
I'll give you the first pick of punter and kicker both, and I'll just take whoever's left.
Okay, I will take as my kicker Eli.
Yep.
Ozick.
I think he'll be the starter.
Okay. And the punter's really hard. Most people think it's going to be that Tanner Philpott, but I'm going to go with Boston.
I think Philpott will be the guy. So I get Philpott and I get Burr, the local kid. So then we'll go over to defense.
Mm-hmm.
We'll each get we're gonna skip the Leo linebacker spot. Well, we'll pick Leo too. And Cash. We'll have 12 starters. So
okay.
You got first pick on offense, so I get first pick on defense.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm going to take, obviously, the best defensive player, Mr. Lutmer. And I'm going to put him at safety because that's where he's playing.
Hang on for a second. I'm just putting these down.
I mean, we could go back and look at them at the end of the season and still don't know who had the best team.
Yeah.
Unless one quarterback is so much better. You watch, Hank Brown will be the best quarterback, and neither one of us have it.
Yeah. I don't have a Leo here. What other position would they use for Leo?
Leo is just a third linebacker. You could pick any of our backup linebackers. I know who's going to start at Leo. It's going to be Van Kekerix. But you could pick Preston Reeves or Weisgoff or Damian Manson or anybody at Leo. But just use your next two picks for the two best defensive players that you think are left, Dean.
Okay. Right defensive end, Epineza.
Okay. I'll just put Epi.
Yeah, and then I'm going to go with right cornerback. I'm going with Deshaun Lee, although he has mixed results the last couple years.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you. I get Bosworth.
You want Bosworth, huh?
Yeah, I get Cam Buffington.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to pick again.
Oh, I forgot about Cam Buffington.
Yeah, he's going to be a star.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with Jaden Montgomery at middle linebacker.
Okay. I am going with my cash, the guy that's starting at cash, Mr. Wallace.
Okay.
He's a second-year player, but really a freshman. So.
Alrighty. Okay. This is listed as a free safety. Do we use a free safety?
We just have two safeties. Free safeties where I think that's the Quinn Schulte position where Lutmer is starting.
Okay, I'm taking Tyler Brown at that position.
Good pick.
Oh, by the way, where would they like Lutmer to play?
Safety.
Safety. Cash.
Phil pretty much said it because he loves Wallace at cash. You know. Okay, I get a pick now. Okay. So who am I going to pick? I guess. Who am I going to pick? Defensive backs are pretty deep, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to pick our. I guess I'm going to pick our top defensive returning tackle, Hawthorne. People think it's not a deep position, but I think it is. Bryce Hawthorne at defensive tackle. Your turn, Dean.
Did you pick Lutmer yet?
I picked him number 1.
Okay.
He's going to be our top punt returner and maybe as good as safety as there is in college.
Okay, I'll take at left cornerback. I'll take Jalen Watson.
You got the 2 starting cornerbacks. So I don't have to pick any cornerbacks for a while because
I can't pick anymore, huh?
No, unless you moved one to safety, which I doubt you're going to do that. I'm going to take I'm going to take Drew Campbell at defensive end. I love Drew.
Okay. You took Cam Buffington already, right?
Yes, I took Bosworth. I have such a hard time. I was telling his uncle on the phone. I said, I have a hard time remembering the name Buffington for some reason. I have some block. So I started calling him Bosworth. So I call him the Boz. So
okay. Did
Go
you
ahead,
pick a
Dean.
left tackle yet?
That's on offense, Dean. I picked the
Left defensive
defensive.
tackle.
I picked Hawthorne. The defensive tackle positions are interchangeable. They're inside. Doesn't matter if they're right or left.
You took Hawthorne?
Yeah,
At
our
right.
best
Okay.
at one of the defensive tackles.
Okay, I'm taking Bryce Stevenson.
Stevenson?
There. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to take, to go along with Campbell, because Campbell's plays on the same side as Epi, so that works pretty good. Am I going to take? I'm going to take. I'm down to two guys, Dean. It's like flipping. It's like flipping, ain't it? I'm going to take the transfer from Elon, defensive end Brown. Is it Kamari Brown? I'm going to take him as my other defensive end.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about me taking any more defensive ends. I am done there.
Yeah, I need to pick one more defensive end. I think I got.
I know, but pick the best defensive player you think that's left, so I don't get him. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, don't pick a defensive end right now because I can't pick any more of them. You're going to get whoever you want at defensive end. So.
Okay. I guess at defensive tackle, right? I'm going to take that Emmanuel.
Olabaju?
Yeah.
That's who I was going to take. Good pick. So I don't have to pick a defensive tackle now because you've taken two, so you can't pick any more. I can either steal a linebacker from you. We got a Leo and I know, and I don't have to pick a cornerback because you've already picked all the cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go in and I want to pick a linebacker that you may want, but I get. Or a safety.
I got my linebackers are already picked. No, I guess I got one more.
I
got one more linebacker.
You got two more to pick. You picked Montgomery as the only linebacker you picked. You got another linebacker position and the Leo position, which is another linebacker. I'm going to pick and move this. I'm going to move this guy to safety because I don't have. I'm going to take Marcello Vitti, who played cash in the spring game. I'm going to take him as a safety, and him and Lutmer are going to cause havoc.
Okay. I'm going to take Preston Rees at cash.
That'd be at Leo.
That's cash, right?
Oh, it's Leo, a cash. There's a Leo position and a cash position, depending on the defense we're in.
Yeah. Well,
you're going to take Preston Reeves as a Leo linebacker.
Oh, he's listed as a backup cash, so I'm taking him at cash.
He does not play cash. They list two positions on there, Leo and a cash with a slash between them. Leo is a linebacker.
So I have to pick one of each?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pick him at Leo then.
Yeah. Great athlete if he's healthy. Missed the spring because of health. I was going to pick him next, you son of a gun, you. So you got two other linebackers. I'm gonna take Godfrey as one of my wait. I don't need to pick I'm going to take Godfrey at cornerback. That's stupid because you can't pick another cornerback. Of course, you could have picked Godfrey as your cash. Or
Well,
your
that's what I
safe.
was going to do next, but you.
Yeah, I took him.
Okay.
We got any comments or anything, Dean? Because we don't want to.
Yeah.
We don't
He's
want
just
to.
telling. Hink is just telling us who to pick, and so
Oh
far I think we picked everybody, and he agrees with you that Reese doesn't play cash.
no, cash is a
Stupid
cash.
magazine don't know a thing.
Well, they probably had it. Well, they probably don't understand, but
There's no Leo though in this.
we got so many defensive backs, Dean. You can pick any of them as a cash.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, you just give me a second to figure it out.
yeah, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to piss people off that we were not paying attention to comments.
Oh yeah.
Some people are.
Tyler Brown. You got Tyler Brown? I got him at.
You got him at safety.
Yeah. Maybe I'll move him to cash. Can I do that?
Phil loves him. I don't care. I'm gonna move him to cash. Oh, Dean.
Then I'm gonna go and pick another free safety guy.
Yeah. You got the choice of the safeties because I've already filled up my safety position.
Okay. Did you take Tyler Brown?
You did. And you just put him at cash.
Oh, that's right. All right, I'll put Ty Huckins in there then.
At safety?
No, free safety.
He's a transfer from Purdue. Didn't get on the field last year for Iowa.
Oh, that's not good. But I got.
Well, you never know. A kid could have been injured or anything. But. Oh, and my pick, which it doesn't matter. You can't steal from me except at linebacker. I guess I need 2 linebackers yet. I'm going to go with Wives costs available, Cooney, Goucher, DeLong, Manson, Weevolda. For my Leo, I'm going to use the great athlete Juju Manson. He's like a great athlete like Juju, the basketball player, and then he's a killer like Charles Manson. So Juju Manson.
Alrighty. Did you pick Derek Weisskopf?
Nope.
Okay, I'm taking him for my other linebacker.
Okay. So your linebackers are all filled out.
Who I got left? Yeah, my Leo? No, I got my Leo already, right?
You need one more defensive end.
We need a cash.
You got a
defensive end.
You moved Tyler Brown to cash.
That's right. So I don't need
all
a cash.
You need, I get to pick next, but you just think about another safety and a defensive end. I'm going to go with a cornerback, Darian Jones, true freshman from Nebraska. Bam. Bam to bam, bam, bam. I like Wallace, Godfrey, and Jones up front for me in a defensive backfield. So you need a defensive end or a safety, Dean, to fill out.
Alrighty, I'm going to go with Lance Ingold for my defensive end.
Yeah.
Okay. And okay.
And I need a defensive tackle and another linebacker. I'm going to go with the walk-on from Durant at linebacker named DeLong.
Okay. What position does Cody Haddad play?
Safety.
That's my final pick.
Okay. And my final pick, I could go with Hubert or Gaffney at defensive tackle, but I'm going to go with young Mr. Kennedy from maybe a redshirt sophomore, third year. Yeah, I hope he pops up.
Yeah. Hank, I did
okay.
put Tyler Brown at cash.
Yeah. The guy that we left off that you should have picked at safety, that Phil bragged up the other day, was Hawkins, the 6'4", 200-pound safety. Where did he came from? Villanova, I think. Yeah, we had 3 transfer safeties this year. Tyler Brown, who Phil pretty much says he's gonna team up with Lutmer on the back, and the other 2 safeties were Hawkins and Styles. So probably should have used them, but
I probably should have. He's listed as a starter in this magazine.
Hawkins?
Okay, can't go back and undo it.
No. Once they're picked, now we have to sign them on our practice squads on our teams like the NFL does. You know,
Do what now?
Them undrafted free agents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, me and you have to race and see who can offer the most money to Hawkins and Styles and Wivolda and Goucher and Cooney and Gaffney and Hubert. All that stuff.
Okay.
But my point is, I think Iowa's a lot deeper. I think we're a lot deeper than most people think we are.
Yeah. I can't believe we both left Hawkins off, and I think he's going to be a starter.
Well, the only reason I left him off is I had Lutmer, who's a star. He's the star of the defense. And I wanted, and Wallace, who's the best cash, but I wanted Marcello Vitti.
Yep.
You know, because, you know, the Godfather.
Out of the 3 preseason magazines I got, one of them lists him as a backup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we want to do before we sign off for the night?
Was anybody going to jump on or have any questions or?
Nope.
Okay. Well, it was fun.
Hink commented the most. He was helping us pick players.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody else. I don't know why. I mean, I get talked into putting that there, putting the link to the show on there, and nobody joins.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's so funny looking at our 2 teams, Dean. That probably the slightly, by most people, slightly thinks that Hank Brown right now would probably start the first week if we started now, and neither one of us got him on our team. I think it'll look so stupid if he starts 13 games for Iowa and has 23 400 yards passing, and we look at our preseason team.
Well, can I be honest? I mean, I know that they like both quarterbacks, and neither quarterback has separated themselves from each other. Mm-hmm. But to be totally honest, I don't like either quarterback. I think we could have gone to the portal and found somebody better.
You sound like Corey Breda. I just think is what I always say. I just think that Tim Lester and Kirk Ferentz knew what they had, and they think they have 2 good quarterbacks. Maybe they think they have 5 good quarterbacks, but they have 2 that's knows the offense and are ready. Mm-hmm. Maybe they knew we didn't need a transfer.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
It's like,
well, I honestly hope.
Isn't it true, Dean, that you have a great wife?
Yes.
So why did you not go in the transfer portal and get another one? Because you knew you had the best wife, right?
Okay. All righty.
Right?
I just hope these guys come. I hope these guys come through. I want to think positive.
I'm trying to give you an opportunity here live to brag up your wife. So your daughters hear this, your wife hears this, and you're going to have a great life, see?
Well, you want to know something else? Today's our 46th wedding anniversary.
Isn't that something? No, I know you're a lucky guy because you've told me privately before we went on. She appeared in the background like last week by accident.
I told her that. She goes, did
Yeah.
anybody see me? I go, nobody mentioned it.
Well, it wasn't during the live, I don't think.
It was during the live. It was during the live.
It was when she was singing in the background that day before we went on
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything.
Oh, you didn't notice her that she came on.
Then she goes, Kelvin can't hear me, can he? And I go, yes, I can.
I said,
But
yes,
you said to me, I certainly married up. You know,
I did.
so
I did. When you look at me and you look at her, these guys haven't seen her. You will know that I married up.
well, and she's probably a nice person too. So
yeah. Okay. He
once in a
says
while.
he feels like once fall camp starts, people will join. Fall camp is next week, right?
Yeah, it's always the ones that when we do a preview show for the first game, it probably won't be that popular because nobody knows anything about Northern Illinois. They don't want to know anything about them. You know,
Oh, I'm
thank
trying
God.
to get us a Northern Illinois in the know.
Yeah, I've done kind of a little bit of a deep dive on them already. I'm scared of that. They got a quarterback late in the transfer portal, and he is really good. You know, and
So
I know
does,
Northern Illinois has been good before.
mhm.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
Iowa State. Everybody thinks Iowa State's going to be crappy. How do they know?
You don't
They
know
got
because
65 transfers.
I think it's because they have 65 transfers that they probably think that they're not going to mesh yet. I don't know. Okay, so Hink's with me. He doesn't like either option at quarterback. Let's catch up on these things. Toll House says after the first game, the Monday morning, quarterbacks will be out in force.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. When we have our Sunday night shows after games are played, people are going to be on here. You know, we'll have a
Hink
lot more
says
interaction.
yeah, Hink says that Iowa State's dog crap. I don't know. I have no idea. We will know after their first game. We'll get a better idea.
We'll get a better idea. But how many times did Matt Campbell in the first game play really crappy?
That's because he didn't want to show Iowa anything.
That's right. That's what I'm saying, Dean. You know, all these people that get on these shows, on these podcasts, and you know, for one thing, if they come on and they go, "Oh, Hecklinski's way better than Brown," or "Brown's way better than Hecklinski," I know they don't know what they're talking about because they're not at practice. And then these people that say Iowa State is going to be crappy, they don't know that. Unless, was that T. Hink that said that? I mean, is T. Hink been at practice or what?
No, they haven't had practice yet.
Can T. Hink recite who's starting for him even and where they came from?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because I do plan on having an Iowa State expert on the show. Okay, Hink, what we're going to do, he asked about what days we'll be on when the season. We're going to do our usual Sunday night. We'll do our reaction to the show.
To the game.
To the game. We'll pick our reaction to the game, talk about the game, and any other news that comes up. And then on Wednesday, we're going to preview the following game and do our picks like we did last year, you know, of all games. You know, we'll pick some of the best games of the week, and we're going to do our picks for that. So that's our Wednesday night schedule. Last year, I believe we did it on Tuesday because there was a conflict with Hawkeyes. But Hawkeyes didn't take the Wednesday slot like they did because they weren't on much last year, only 3 or 4 times. And so I claimed it. I claimed Wednesday back because I had it first.
And I don't think we had the same viewers anyway. You know?
We do have some of the same viewers.
Well, some, yeah.
Yeah,
because you like
I believe they're going. I believe they decided to go on Tuesday now.
Well, to me, it doesn't matter. You know, we go on, and then on Wednesday we give our score prediction for the next game.
Yeah.
You know,
So we're all Sunday, Sunday and Wednesdays.
We're all going to pick Iowa over Ohio State.
Yeah, and we're not going to do an instant reaction show because Corey Brada already, or Brada, whatever how you say his name, is already doing that, as you know, Hink. And there's just, you know, he gets a lot of viewers, and so I I concede that to him. And now, what's their name? The guy from CBS headquarters, HQ, and another guy, they now do an instant reaction show right away, too. So, and plus you got Sound Off, which I'm not sure how that's going to work this year with the two guys that used to do Sound Off for WHO. What? Oh, that's my wife. Anyway,
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, but anyway, she's outside.
Okay.
Anyway,
Did you know it's only tomorrow? Tomorrow is only 40 days to opening.
Yeah, but anyway, now that KXNO doesn't have anybody to do Sound Off, I'm not sure how it's going to be done. It will probably be done by Ross and Travis. You know, their own version. Oh, actually, they did do it last year too. I forgot. So the Sound Off, and they do instant reaction too, and they don't have to wait for all the pregame stuff. So there's enough people doing instant reaction that I chose to, let's do the day after. Let's do the day after, and let's calm down, or let's come back to earth, and really see what the game was all about. Because
I like to watch the game a second time. I don't want to do an instant reaction. I tune into Corey and Don. They have Don Patterson on. I tune in for it, but mostly for what Don Patterson says or something.
Yeah.
But kind of. And you just get irritated by all the dumb comments, Yeah. I don't know. To me, that ain't a big deal. I'd rather have somebody contemplate what really happened during the game. Look at this. Not just read the stats, but kind of say, yeah. That was a big deal there, And then
I love this one from Toll House.
And usually by the second day, by the Sunday, we're kind of hearing something about an injury that happened.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Toll House says unless we win 72-0, there will be naysayers all over the airways after that first game. Well, we ain't going to win 72-0 because Kirk won't allow it.
Tim Lester won't allow it either. Tim Lester said on his. We didn't really talk about the women interviews and Tim Lester's last interview thing he was on. But like Tim Lester said on every interview he did here with ANF and Chad and whoever, I seen 3 or 4 of them, he said, we're up 31-0 to Minnesota and I shut the playbook up. It was I don't want to show the teams ahead all the good stuff, some of our other good stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, and I like the Wednesday instead of Tuesday because Wednesday you can take in what Kirk says at his weekly news conference, right?
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we can talk about what he says, so we can kind of go back and say, hey, this is what he said about the previous game, and this is what he's saying about the next game. Okay. Hink says, yes, I direct report to Iowa State. Hink says Jalen Rayner from Arkansas State is the QB.
Yep.
Alrighty, and the two guys' names I couldn't think of are Hassel and Andrew Downs. That do the instant reaction show.
I've never watched that in my life. Isn't that Chris Hassel?
Yes, that's Chris Hassel from
I would
guys.
never listen. I've listened to him once in my life. That's the last time I'd ever listened to him.
I think you would like him because he's a Hawkeye.
No, I said I listened to him. He's like he's like he's very hyperbolic and just I think he's full of it,
Yeah. So, Hake is pointing out that Sound Off didn't exist last year. Okay. So no different this year. Ross and Travis will do it.
Yeah.
Travis and Ross right after the game. Yeah, that's one thing too. They're so excited. They were so excited last year. Is because they didn't have to wait for all the post-game stuff to get done before they went on the air.
And
they can come on the air right away.
And if anybody listens to any podcast, I mean, if you want the nitty-gritty on Iowa football, you're going to tune into the ANF podcast. The ANF podcast is the best podcast probably in the nation, so.
Okay. If Hank Brown would have completed that short pass in the Indiana game, I think a lot of people would pan him or probably pick him as the next starter. Okay.
I seen that.
I'm
I
getting a
seen that.
I'm getting a criticism here.
What?
Iowa Hawkman says this is terrible. So I think he thinks the podcast is terrible. Does Dean know who's on the roster? Yes, I do. I have the roster here, all the preseason books here. I've been watching Hawkeye football since I can remember. Since I opened up my eyes in the cradle and been watching it with my parents because I was born in Iowa City on the campus of University of Iowa, and I've been going to games since I was a little kid. All righty. Come on, Kelvin. Start your own podcast as the best pod. Come on. Come on, Kelvin. State your own podcast as the best pod. Come on. I do. I've said it. This is the best podcast out.
I don't think. But who's saying this shit anyway?
Okay. Iowa Hawkman said the criticism of me, which is fine. I can take it. Hink said he's the one that told you to that you need to tell people that this is the best podcast.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do that. That's not the way I was raised, and I don't think it's. I know the ANF is the best podcast. Period.
Well,
they're the podcast that before we played they're the only podcast that I brought up. I talked about Vanami before anybody else, and then 5 months later they started talking about him. Other than that, nobody talked about him. And they said during the pre-Vanderbilt game, they said Iowa was going to kick Vanderbilt. I didn't think Iowa was going to kick them. I think I picked Iowa just because I'm a Hawkeye fan. But they said the Vanderbilt defense can't tackle. They're no good. And that's what happened. So yeah, I'm not gonna. I give ANF, their stars and stripes and their
that's
stars.
Okay. Everybody knows that. Is that the one that breaks everything down play by play? And
yeah, they're the twins that they know all the personnel and how good they are for every team and
yeah. And there isn't a lot of podcasts that break things down like that. Okay. Kelvin, Hank says, come on, Kelvin, make your work great. Tollhouse says, I used to watch Corey, but he's kind of wore on me. He's wore thin on me. Now he thinks he's a big expert and criticizes a lot of Iowa decisions. Personnel, you do a great job, Dean and Kelvin.
I do not appreciate that. I keep stating it all the time. I am not an expert. I don't grab onto that label or anything. I try to listen to everything. I try to listen to all the coaches, and luckily I have a few friends that get to see practice once in a while, and they tell me what they see and stuff like that. That's where I get my information. That's why I won't pick an Iowa quarterback, because I have no information that one quarterback is 1 inch better than the other.
Yeah. I think you guys will all find out at the kids day. Kelvin, you need to make your podcast better than ANF.
Well, that ain't gonna happen because I am not as good as them. I'm not even good at following a script and shit and stuff. And then I got chemo brain that don't help. And I just try to help Dean. That's
by the way, I
want to be on a podcast other than that.
I wanted to say your chemo brain has made you like what do they call that? You can remember everything. You don't need to write it down. You know it. You hear it. You see it. You know it. But
I have these problems remembering names. It's like I know the Malones. They're Cam Buffington's uncles. His uncle Jerry played for Iowa for Kirk Ferentz in that Freedom Bowl where we blew out Texas. I know all that, but Cam Buffington at times, I cannot remember his name.
Okay.
And it's embarrassing.
It's called old timers disease.
I know on Zach Heine's thing, a guy on there, and Heine agrees with, keep calling me the Hawkeye Encyclopedia, which I probably used to be like, but my brain I wish I didn't have that problem, but I have that.
I'm gonna read these other two comments, and then I'm gonna read this other comment that I think you should hear. Okay. Kelvin, how much money does YouTube give you for the podcast? Not a dime. I don't get a dime. He doesn't get a dime.
I don't want any money.
Yeah. Okay. Toll House says you two are real. I hope you keep it that way. That's what I'm looking for. This show started out as me being a fan by myself, just talking about how I felt about things and what I'd seen and everything. Eventually, I was joined by Paul, and well, actually, it started by myself, and then I got asked to join Nolan Hawkeye Anthony's podcast, which our partnership lasted maybe 2 years. And then I went back to being solo, and then Paul and Jason joined the show, and we were just a bunch of fans, but Jason was probably our most expert type guy on the thing because he could break things down for us and show us the different plays. Jason and Paul both took a break from the show. They may or may not be back. That's up to them, not me. And so, so we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping that at least they come back. I mean, they enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, the only time I started on here was Dean couldn't find anybody that was pro Tim Lester the week that he was hired, and I told him, well, he's a good hire. Well, can you come on and do that? And I came on, and I thought that's the only time I'll be on here. Boy, that was like. Boy, I got it from all sides that night.
Yeah. Okay. Well, alrighty. Here's something I want you to hear.
How bad Tim Lester was. How bad Kirk Ferentz was. It was like terrible. But anyway.
Yeah, here's something I want you to hear from Cyhawk C Money. He goes. He thinks he will be starting chemo tomorrow. If he can, he has chemo brain like Kelvin. Prayers for Kelvin. Cancer's backside. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have cancer or anything, but I had the chemo and experimental treatments for a year in 2021, and I'm never getting cancer again. The doctors tell me that, but I'm the luckiest man in the world. What has he just started his chemo?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he starts tomorrow, he thinks.
Oh, well, you're not gonna, depending on the chemo you get. If it's the chemo that you get every 2 weeks, like I did, and you carry a pump around with you for 2.5 days, you're not going to feel good. But I had this other terrible chemicals given to me on top of that. Made my hands and feet turn black. I don't have any hair on my arms and legs anymore, and it affected my whole body. If you're just getting chemo, you'll get along better than I did. And just stay strong and be positive.
Okay. Toll House says, by the way, cocaine coffee is ground right here in Tampa, about a mile from where I live. Excellent product with a good mission to pay farmers, not produce cocaine, but good coffee. Well, thank you. There's a testimonial for you guys to get cocaine coffee.
I never thought Toll House Coffee would recommend a different coffee.
Oh God, that's funny.
Wasn't there a Toll House Coffee when we were kids, Dean?
Okay. Think says, Corey, do you want some cocaine coffee?
Corey.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Okay.
I'm confused. Okay.
Well, I don't know if he's I don't know.
Seahawk C Money says, I love coffee. Okay, I was pro. Toll House says I was pro Tim Lester from day one, and I felt he was alone. Yeah, well, I think the media had a lot to do with that because they just went off on when he chose Lester and everything. Yeah. I don't think any of them were in his corner, but I will tell you what, Tim Lester at that first press conference, anybody who was a naysayer, like myself, I was a naysayer. He won us over that day, that very first day on his very first press conference. Once you heard him talk, you would run a brick wall for him.
There was a lot of negative buildup coming up to the hiring of Tim Lester. What's taking so long? Well, how come it's taking so long? And how come this guy turned the job down and this guy turned the job down? Well, nobody was offered the job, But, and then one article came out, like Chad Listico is a really good writer and everything, but he came out and said that Lester couldn't even get the snap count right at Syracuse. And that was misinformation, not on purpose, but that set everybody kind of anti Tim Lester, because that's all you heard was he can't even get the snap count right.
Oh,
And,
okay. Here, hang on. I gotta catch you up on these comments. Seahawks C Money says he was just joking. He's sorry for the misunderstanding. And Think says Corey was just joking. Doesn't have cancer. So Seahawks C Money, your real name is Corey? Okay.
Oh,
okay. All right.
Well, I'm glad he doesn't have cancer and isn't doing chemo.
So. Yeah, he said I was complimenting Calvin's memory. I was too. Okay.
Always had a great memory. It's like November 19th, 1863. That's the Gettysburg Address. Not very many people can remember that shit, but I can.
Okay. Tohal says sports are fun. I hope it stays that way. Cancer sucks. Yes, it does. We've all been affected by cancer one way or the other. I even had cancer. That's how I lost an eye. Was it Grub? What was that? Okay, wait a minute. Let me back it up. Okay. The other finalist for offensive coordinator interview in person, Iowa City, and got all the press and pictures. People were so upset that he did not get that hire. I was so pro Tim Lester. Okay. Was that Grubb? Okay. Ryan Grubb.
No. That was Terry Johns or whatever his name was. The offensive coordinator from Duke was the guy that come in and had breakfast, and somebody snuck around and took a picture of him eating breakfast with Kirk. And the next day, Lester never came to Iowa City. He just got a Zoom interview, and that's the guy that
Kevin Johns.
And Lester was the guy that Kirk probably wanted all along,
Hey, Cyhawk C Money, you're not the Corey Breda, are you? I don't think he is, but I just thought I'd ask. Okay. Speaking of teams with a V, Vandy Chris is in here. Hi, Vandy. Had a great interview with Coach Heller. Gave us an update. Okay, why does that move on that thing? Okay, alrighty. Gave us an update on the current baseball renovations, and they will be complete by the first home game. Guys, he did an interview. I wasn't able to watch it when they aired it live, but I'm sure it can be found on YouTube somewhere or link somehow. Probably. I'm sure that Vandy's got it somewhere we can watch it. I plan to watch it when I can find it.
I bet it's a great interview of a great coach, and they're playing at the Field of Dreams. You know that? It's sold out. I think that's a fall game. They play some games in the fall. So.
Oh yeah. The softball's playing some fall games too. Okay, Cyhawk says, lost my dad to cancer in 2021. Iowa beat Penn State, and we walked to the top of the Kenny to witness it. It was the best day of his life. Wow. Yeah. I already told you guys the story about my dad having to suffer through those 29 winning seasons.
Losing seasons.
Yeah, losing. Well, there was a couple of 500 seasons in there. Yeah. So non-winning seasons, and that when we went to the Rose Bowl, because my dad had died a couple of months before the football season started, and so he never got to see his team go back to the Rose Bowl. Yeah. Anybody knows I got my Hawkeye fandom from him. He had in our house on a Saturday game. Of course, you couldn't find many Iowa games on TV in those days. Very few, if any. Yep. But every radio in the house was on. And it wasn't Zabel we were listening to. We might have been listening to Brooks out of Cedar Rapids.
Bob Brooks was on 1600 KCRG, and Ron Gonder was on 600 WMT.
Yeah.
And Zabel was on WHO. Frosty Mitchell was on another station.
Out of Grinnell.
And then there was another guy that was in the Quad Cities. Iowa had more radio stations, independent radio stations that followed them around and did their games than any other Big Ten team.
Yeah. Okay. Vandy says, I don't know that Ryan Grubb ever talked to Iowa. He was perfectly happy working with DeBoer.
Yeah, Ryan Grubb was never the only guys that I know talked to Iowa. Chip Kelly tried to get Kirk interested, and Kirk wasn't interested. He went to Ohio State, and then Kirk interviewed Philbin, but I think he talked to Philbin for like a week. Who Philbin was one of Kirk's first players when Kirk became a coach, like in high school. And Philbin, of course, has been in the NFL. He was an offensive line coach for Kirk his first few years at Iowa, and then Philbin went into the pros and became the head coach of the Miami Dolphins for a short time. But I think Philbin was telling him, "Hey, we got this Tim Lester guy up here to Green Bay. You got to get him." And I think that's why he talked to Philbin. And then he talked to Paul Christ a long time. He contacted that young Kubiak, Gary Kubiak's son, and they said he contacted one of the coaches from the Chicago Bears, but then he hired Lester. Yeah. And Kevin Johns, of course. So that was the list of guys that he talked to.
Some interesting things happening in the comments. Okay. Hank says, Seahawks C-Money, one time you called into Corey's show for basketball postgame and you were sleeping and we almost called 911. C-Money, Seahawks says, oh no, I was sleeping. How embarrassing.
Oh, okay. Because I thought he was talking about me, and I thought I've commented down in the bottom, but I've never called in to Corey.
This is interesting, yeah. Hink says, yeah, it was like the Florida or Nebraska post game show, and you look dead. Ron Gonder, oh my.
he was. I thought he was the best.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Well, who else did oh my?
I didn't care if it was Hawkeye basketball with Ronnie Lester or Hawkeye football. I loved Ron Gonder.
Yeah. Well, there was on the Iowa Sports Network back in the day.
Bob Hogue.
Oh my, Bob Hogue. Every time they hit a three. Oh my.
Yeah, that was a Dick he took that from Dick Enberg, the NBC guy that always did UCLA basketball.
Okay. Toll House says, back when Iowa lost most of their games, I had so much fun listening to the games on the radio. No stress back then.
Ron Gonder's call went on a made shot in basketball. If it had any length to it, was always kaboom. I remember him saying seemed like a lot. He'd say, kaboom, Ronnie Lester.
All righty. Paulo Roberto, question. At this point, after some training sessions, who do you think Jan will choose for a starting lineup? Well, first of all, I think she's got 8 easy starters there to choose from. So I don't envy her job which 5 she's going to put on the floor for the first time. What do you think, Kelvin?
I don't know. Running that half court, running their offense the other day, I agreed that Stremlo looked the best, but Stremlo's, she knows the offense, and Carnegie, that was her second practice because she had strep throat and missed 2 weeks after she came back. So Stremlo should have looked better at it, but I think Stremlo, I really expect Whiting to be in the lineup instead of Stremlo. Stremlo's like the captain of the team. She'll come off the bench. She might start at small forward, but Whiting is so much better at defense unless Taylor got way better. And I think with the smaller guards that Chit Chat and Carnegie aren't very tall, I think you need that third guard better be a defensive stopper, you know. But I don't know. I agree with Dean. You know, I don't know if you start Journey Houston or Wolitsko. You know, I don't. Journey Houston has been her and Ava Hayden and Stremlo have been the stick out players in practice.
Yeah. By the way, they call her Strem. Just for anybody knows, she's Strem.
Yeah, but Strem on the down low. Yeah. So
yeah. Okay. Vandy Chris says, "Why won't Iowa talk to Dana Holgersson, Iowa native, creative offensive mind? When he was at West Virginia, he makes perfect sense." Hink says it's not happening under Kirk Ferentz. Watch way to spread offense. I think that's got to be a typo somehow. Didn't Lester say more teams are getting away from the spread because people learn how to defend it very well?
And Tim Lester said the only people that use the air raid now are like high school teams. Well, that's what he said. I'm just repeating what Tim Lester said. The NFL. You've noticed that Oregon and Ohio State they're the three teams that ran the ball the most this year in the Big Ten were Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State, the three best teams. And the number 4 team in the Big Ten for running the ball the most was Iowa. You know, if you're a good team, you should be able to run the ball against the other team. And the Big Ten is a physical, in the trenches league, just like the NFL. That's why we whoop other teams mostly in bowl games.
Yeah. Okay, let me finish these comments so I can get caught up. Yep. I'm way behind. Okay, Vandy says that would be a good combination when Kirk leaves, Lester and Holgersson, or vice versa. C Money says chips and salsa. Who said that? You know?
No.
Okay.
Sounds familiar. Chips and salsa.
Yeah.
Was that
Question for women is post position for C Money. Seahawk C Money says Man McCaughlin. I think he meant Mac McCausland.
Oh, he said chips and salsa?
I don't know.
Okay. Probably.
Okay. Alrighty. Because that's what I said. This is what happens when I get behind on the comments. I don't know what we're commenting on. You know who ran the air raid at Nevada? Yeah, Nevada.
Jay Norvell.
Yep. And last comment we have right now currently is, oh my God, I can't even see anymore. I'm so bad. Nebraska podcast said they should hire Brian Ferentz for the O-line coach, which he would probably say no, and the embarrassment would be terrible for Nebraska. By the way, guys, I saw not that long ago. I saw Brian Ferentz driving through town here in Bakersfield because Fresno State recruits heavily in Bakersfield.
Brian visited Nebraska before he went to Maryland for an analyst job or something. Nebraska would be a better football team with Brian Ferentz as the head coach than they would be with the guy they got. Players love him. You know, he just shouldn't be your OC, especially if you got no offensive line. Of course, I don't think any OC wants to coach a team with no offensive line. But Brian is Brian is more like Bobby Stoops and Brett Bielema than he is his dad. Very much an A-type personality and very much a rah-rah guy, you know. So.
Yeah. Vandy says, talking women's basketball, I'm looking forward to the Sioux City game with my Lady Commodores. I really like Vandy's chances to get that W. I think our guards will be too much for Iowa. I don't know. Have you seen our guards? We got some pretty decent guards ourselves.
Well, both of them. Both teams have first-team SEC guards. Danny Carnegie and Miss Flakes. You know, I did a little deep dive on the Vandy women, and they're very similar to Iowa. They don't have a full roster. You know, the Vandy has I think they're very similar teams.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, one thing I will say about that,
I don't know which team. I don't know which team should be favored. I just think Jan's teams usually take a while to get started her first 2 seasons, so I would expect they probably have a couple losses with Vandy and UConn early in the schedule.
I think they're both very similar. I like our chances in the Sioux City game.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy Hawkeyes. I don't see much for Vanderbilt traveling that far.
Me and Dean are different than Vandy. When we say our team, we mean the Iowa Hawkeyes. So.
Okay, Michaela Blakes is the best player in the nation. There isn't a player at Iowa on her level.
Oh, I thought, yeah, she's right up there. You know, you got Sarah Strong and at UConn, who is better than AZ Fudd. You know, so she's pretty good. And of course, Juju Watkins coming back. Hopefully, I seen her running today on tape at high school all-star games or something. So Juju looked healthy. There's a lot of good players. A lot of good players in the country.
I'll bet you Juju's going to come back this year, show what she can do. We already know what she can do. But then she'll probably leave for the WNBA because she'll be old enough.
Yeah, there's a certain girl named Hannah Hidalgo. She's pretty good. But Vandy,
there's a lot of strong players. There's a lot of strong players in this.
Vandy thinks Blakes is the best player in the country, so maybe she is. I don't know.
We'll find out. The season
it'll be an argument for 5 years because we can watch them on TV and not know which one's the best player in the country. You know, it's like
okay. Well, Iowa women develop a strong post presence this year. I believe with their 4 out, 1 in, I believe that's the intent, right?
Ava certainly was a strong post presence
last year. Yes, she was.
I don't think we have to develop that.
Well, I think maybe the question should be more like,
can Layla play 15 minutes?
Yeah, can Layla Hayes come in and give us some quality minutes? Because, I mean, I know against non-conference opponents, she did pretty good in the preseason, and people got excited about what she could do. But when the Big Ten came around, she was pretty much a non-factor. To the point they didn't even bring her in some games. They used Journey and Hannah.
Yeah, the Layla, you could tell, played up in Alaska against no competition. She didn't have to have good footwork in high school up there. She's the only girl over 6'1" in most games. And so she didn't have to be good. Now, Jan's trying to get her to play post the Iowa way, and hopefully she is. That means no dribbling, good footwork, use your body, you know, keep the ball high. Don't bring it down. You know, so I would expect her to be a totally different player this year. So
get the ball and turn to the basket around the player. Okay. Well, we're getting some good, interesting combination here. I didn't expect this, but it's fun. It keeps us on the show going a little longer. Okay. Toehouse says Juju is better guard than anybody in the Vanderbilt. Vandy says, I mean, she broke the national scoring record against much harder competition than Sarah Strong played. I doubt Juju will be at the same level coming off the knee injury. Yeah, you know, and that's true because it took Paige Beckers a full extra year. That's why she came back. That's why she came back for her 5th year.
I'm just running through my head. You know, Jelani Cambridge is a great player. Prince at Nebraska. Isn't there a girl at Texas named like Booker? Ain't she like a great player? You know, so there's a lot of great players. I don't know. So
yeah. Okay. Cyhawk just says, he goes, I'm saying a strong backup and a strong post against the towering center. They say that Layla has gained some confidence and that she's doing better in the workouts during the summer. So
she lost a lot of weight.
She lost some weight, yeah. So yeah, and we do have a Big Ten does have a lot of decent centers too.
I don't think Iowa.
But I want to say this though. Iowa only lost 3 games in the Big Ten last year, right? So I think we can hold our own in the Big Ten against the best competition. We beat Michigan twice last year.
We'll be way better in the guard court next year, but I just do not. We'd have to be damn lucky to make it to the Elite Eight or farther, because Iowa in the past would have never made it to a Final Four with only 2 post players. Both years, the year we beat South Carolina, our 3rd and 4th post players had to play, and O'Grady came off the bench and played great against Cardozo to beat in that big upset because of foul trouble. And then the next year, when we got in foul trouble against LSU and Angel Reese, O'Grady had to do the same thing, And this year, when if we got Ava, who got in foul trouble a lot last year, if her and Layla get in foul trouble, Jan reached back here and, I don't think I want to put Bria Medina in at center. No.
Okay, let's continue reading some of these comments before I get too far behind, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Cyhawk says Iowa centers were timid against tall post players. Okay. Toll House says, well, my eyesight, guys, has gone to shoot. Iowa women have very good players. My gripe was that play calling at the end of the Virginia game before overtime. Iowa had a timeout, and I don't know what the play call was, but it was awful. God, guys, I didn't even get a chance to watch that game. I thought we were going to win it for sure, so I was planning on coming home and watching it on replay, and I decided never to turn it on. But
I think the biggest thing, we went cold, in the game.
We went cold in a very hot gym.
We went cold, and the other thing was that our one player who wasn't cold got cramps in her legs. Chit Chat was really carrying us in that game, and when she got them heat cramps in her legs, and we just didn't have a replacement out there. Stremlo could not hit a shot that day, but anyway, it's water under the bridge. Go Hawks.
Okay. They say, Jelani Cambridge wasn't as good as her, or isn't as good as her older sister. Come on, guys. Okay. Another comment.
Somebody from Vanderbilt say that?
I'm not going to tell you.
because Jelani Cambridge finished 2nd in Big Ten Player of the Year last year. That's a ridiculous comment.
Okay. Toll House says Jan and the team need to learn how to close out the game this year. I think they did a good job of closing out games. The problem is she shortened her for the Virginia game in a arena that was really hot and too hot. She shortened her bench by not going to the bench as much as she could. She didn't trust the players that she had on the bench, and these girls were just worn out. They had 2 overtimes before they lost the game? They probably weren't hydrated very well. They were very hot. Granted, Virginia played under the same conditions, but I'm guessing Virginia didn't shorten their bench because they seemed to have a lot more energy at the end of the games than Iowa did. Iowa looked like they were sleepwalking, because I did watch some of the highlights. Okay, it will be a great game in Sioux City. Looking forward to the competition. If Iowa has an advantage, it will be in the paint. Okay.
This year, as far as that Virginia game, we have Danny Carnegie is a bucket getter. She's like Bennett Sturts. she didn't play like Bennett Sturts, different type game. But she's the type of girls basketball player, like a Jeloni Cambridge, that can drive the lane and make a myriad of shots, from 7 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet. We didn't have that last year.
Wasn't Danny Cambridge? Wasn't she also
Carnegie?
Carnegie SEC first team?
Yeah, I said we got a first team SEC player, and Vanderbilt's got an first team SEC guard too.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right. You said it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, wait a minute. Hang on. Here we go. I missed over something. Vandy says, I happen to know them personally. Jordan is a far better player. And even with that, 2 blown knees. Okay. Toho says, speaking of the heat in Carver Hawkeye Arena, they're going to get air conditioning now. I bet you that's part of the renovations. It has to be. Because if you're going to continue to play games in April at Carver Hawkeye Arena, you better get some air conditioning in that place.
Yeah, it's under consideration.
I have a feeling that the heat contributed a lot to our downfall.
Mm-hmm. It's under consideration in their
but here's what I want to tell you guys too.
Mm-hmm.
When I DoorDash, I pick up stuff from a local restaurant here called Pappy's. The owner of that, he saw me wearing an Iowa Hawkeye basketball shirt, and he happened to mention that he was at Iowa City for a band competition for his daughter, and they decided to go take in the Iowa Virginia game, and because the tickets were only like $8, he said. Mm-hmm. And they went in there. The first thing he told me was that stadium was hot as hell. He goes, they got to get some air conditioning in there.
That many people in there.
But he said that he thought Virginia was a very decent team, but he just said he thought Iowa lost because of the heat.
Yeah, I think Virginia's star in that game, didn't she transfer to South Carolina and going to be their starting guard? I think.
Oh, the good one from Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's South Carolina or LSU or someplace.
Well, let's let the SEC expert talk to us about that. Okay. Seahawk C-Money says, just hand out free Carver cones. There you go.
They're looking into the added expense of air conditioning. They just don't know, how many times has been necessary, but they'll probably put it in.
Do they have heat in there?
Well, yeah, they got heat.
Okay. Well, then they need to get air conditioning, and you just add it to the heating unit. Add it to the heating unit.
we use Carver during the winter. We don't use it during the summer.
But I heard that Carver can get pretty cold in the winter. Okay. If I am Jan or Ben, I'm using the lack of air conditioning to my advantage. I'm going to get my players conditioned to it and then run the other team into the ground every time. Yeah, that is a good point. But you got to get your players acclimated, and you got to make sure they're damn well hydrated.
Iowa also has practice facilities other than Carver. So.
Okay. By the way, we need to get out of here. So this has been a fun show. Thank you for all the comments, everybody. We're going to leave you, and we'll see you on Wednesday night. What we're going to do yet? Probably talk a little Big Ten Media Days. We're out. Thank you guys for everything you did tonight.
The GOAT, Kurt Ferentz.
Yeah.